It's who he is. It's just in his coaching vein, and the players have all talked about it all year. They feel like their coach believes in them even more when he decides to make these decisions that the outside media calls reckless. I'm hoping that this team has something in play for this following season that, like KG has said, when you're in big spots, when you're in these big moments, especially with a chance to go to the Super Bowl, that you have something that is a little bit more foundationally stable, rather than, you know, going out there and taking what most people would call a risk.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I personally, I don't have a problem with the comments at all. I get what he's saying, and it didn't feel like a shot at Dan Campbell, which some people took it as. He was aggressive. I consider his calls, especially in 2023, closer to aggressive than reckless. I think they were somewhat calculated. Whether all of them were the right call or not, we could break down each one. But for the most part, I consider them overly aggressive and not reckless. And KG, I would also consider some of the calls he made in 2021 and 2022 reckless.
Right.
And I think he had to do it because the team just wasn't as good. The defense, there was nothing to lose.
That's true.
There was nothing to lose. But this, in terms of the 2023 season, KG, do you consider it reckless? Do you consider should the Lions do things differently next year?
Well, no. I'll start by saying I agree with Colin Cowherd 100%. And he's not normally a Lions basher. I've watched a lot of Colin. He's normally in support of us and the things that we do, so I didn't take this as a shot. But this is everything I was saying right after that NFC Championship game. Yes, we want him to be Dan Campbell. Two things can be true. We want you to be Dan Campbell, but in certain moments of the game, you have to be able to read the situation, read the room, and react accordingly. And that's something that Dan Campbell has struggled to work, you know, work through in certain situations. Like, I can go back to the Cowboys game. Some of those calls toward the end might have been out of emotion. I understand the game was on the line, but you did have a chance to square the game, go to overtime. He chose to not do that. Okay, fine. That was the regular season. Then it reeks its head in the NFC Championship game. And I know we always talk about the Josh Reynolds play. That was the first 4th down. Okay, if you want to say that affected the game, perfectly fine. Okay. To me, what was the most egregious, or not egregious, but just something I felt he should have thought more through, was the second 4th down where you were down 3. The momentum was absolutely gone, and a field goal could have kept you in the game, and then when you scored the touchdown at the end, could have possibly tied the game. So it's just those moments right there. Like, he reacts out of emotion a lot, especially when the game is on the line and things get tight and things get close. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but as an NFL coach, you have to be able to discern these situations. You're not going to get all of them right, but I do feel like Colin Cowherd's words are like spot on. Be Dan Campbell, but just be a tad bit smarter and have a little bit better discernment in certain situations.